Good evening.
Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Go back to the other screen.
Well, I can say for a fact that we are doing better today than we have been for the past few days. For
We've
the most
actually
part.
been doing okay.
We've been doing
have
okay, yeah.
more lines of communication open now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what makes us be doing better.
You know, for those of you that don't know, we live in Western North Carolina. We are about an hour west of Asheville. So most of the videos that you see coming out of the devastation that happened, all happened east of us.
Maybe 30 to 45 miles.
Yeah, I mean, you could go 20 minutes east of us to Waynesville, and there's very significant damage in certain areas. Lots of folks without, hey, Cheryl and Ed.
Hello, welcome in. Thank you for visiting with us.
Thanks for coming in, guys. So yeah, even 20 minutes away from us, just over a mountain, they had significant flooding, lots of damage, lots of people without power. And as you go further east, as you go further east towards Canton and then Asheville and Hendersonville and Boone and Chimney Rock, Marion,
got hit pretty hard too.
Swannanoa, all those areas, just some of them are just total devastation. You look at Biltmore Village and South Asheville, and it was under probably 10 feet of water, and businesses and buildings and houses just completely swept away. So to bring you up to date on us, Thursday night, as the storm was coming in, we lost power.
Around 8 something.
Yeah. And we were one of the few places around that lost power. We lost it at our house. It was around, I think it was actually around 9:30. And
no, I think it was
9:15.
8 something because we were, anyway, it was about 12 hours.
Yeah. It was about 12 hours that we were without power. Somehow they got power back Friday morning in the midst of everything.
Everybody else lost theirs.
Yeah, that's when everyone else lost power. And so we had power. Everything seemed to be working. And then the flooding started, and the rivers got swollen. They were overflowing their banks.
And we closed our business on Friday.
Yeah, we ended up
just to make sure everyone was safe.
Yeah, ended up telling everyone to stay home, stay safe. You don't need to be out driving around, because we were starting to experience a little bit of flooding here in our town. Flash flooding, yeah. And some of the roads were covered in water. So it was best for people to just stay at home. And in the early, sometime before noon on Friday, all of our communication went out. That's when we lost cell phones, internet, and pretty much everything else. So we were totally cut off at that point, and we had no way of knowing what was happening anywhere else. We couldn't make any calls, couldn't get any news. There was just nothing. So we kind of hunkered down most of the day Friday. Kept an eye on the river levels.
Our kids moved, so
yeah,
we helped the kids move, or at least that I did.
Daughter and son-in-law just moved into a new house.
The second time they've moved during a hurricane.
Right.
I told them that they might want to not do that anymore.
Yeah, they moved up here in 2017 from Florida, around the Tampa area, and I flew down the day that a hurricane was coming in, helped them pack their truck up, and then we drove. That what should have been a 12-hour drive took us over 24 hours. That was rough because
I was home.
the highways were packed. There was no gas anywhere. And I'm driving a 26-foot moving truck along back roads, just trying to find somewhere that wasn't packed full and that had gas.
Somewhere to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, I've never found any place to sleep. We went about 2 hours into Georgia on that trip. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to find a hotel that had vacancy, and nope, they were all packed full. So we ended up parking the truck and their cars in a Waffle House parking lot and sleeping for a few hours before we continued our trip. But this time they just moved into a new house that was in a fairly low-lying area. So
I was worried that they were getting flooded, but they got lucky.
It was that the river was gonna flood.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, we've got Scott Smith in. Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for coming in.
And
hello.
Destination Fun. Hey guys, come in. We've had a little bit of experience in that before, and they got to stop moving in storms, that's for sure.
Yes.
So that was Friday. We got power back, so we were good as far as that went, but still no communication. Saturday morning comes along. We still have no internet. We've got power. That's good. No internet, no cell phone. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna drive over towards Asheville and see if maybe I can get a cell signal, at least to let family know.
His words in the doorway were, "I'm gonna see how far this goes."
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
We got no communication, so we've got no idea. I mean, around our area, no big deal, I mean, we had a little bit of minor flooding.
Well, some places not necessarily minor, but
well, in our county,
in our immediate area, southern Jackson, it got hit pretty hard.
Let's see, there's still homes here with no power. Oh wow, in Tampa Bay area, lots of homes have to be gutted from the flooding. And you see, we didn't even hear any of that.
No, before, we have no idea about anybody else.
I mean, I've seen stuff in the recent days. There were significant flooding for our friends down in the Tampa Bay area. I don't even know what happened.
A lot of friends and family were really worried because they knew where we were located.
Yeah, and they were hearing these reports coming out,
and pictures and all that stuff, and we don't know that they're kind of trying to contact us, and we're not answering. So
we have no clue. We have no clue what happened anywhere else at that point. So I jumped in my vehicle and I drove, and figuring that if I get to a bigger population area, they're going to have cell service. You get over to Asheville or something, and we'll have some cell service.
So this is good. Can you silence that? This is good because Destination Fun can kind of give us some of their experience and their take of where they're at. Did you guys sustain any damage where you are?
Everything flooded from the storm surge. Yeah,
that was a huge storm surge. That they were predicting,
especially up. I mean, we were watching it as it was coming in, but we lost power before we could really see anything. So
we were watching when the power went out.
We were kind of tracking it, trying to figure out what was going to happen. And when our power went out, it was still hadn't hit landfall in the Big Bend area.
No, and that was a transformer that blew because we heard the pop.
Yeah, we heard a pop, and apparently we had a truck.
Yeah,
and it was only like 26 houses.
In
this area, which the same 26 go out at least every few months.
Just so lucky.
Yeah. There's no doubt that we were very lucky.
There were 2 trees that I heard fall on our property, but they have to be up in the woods. Up in the woods, because not that I've gone down the property, but they're wherever they are, they're not causing any trouble, which is very good.
Yeah. So anyway, back to my story.
Oh, sorry.
I drove I drove to Waynesville, stopped there, no internet. Drove on to Canton, which is about 35, 40 minutes away from where we live. No power, no cell phone service. Drove on to Westville and got there, and all the power's out. And at that point, I figured, well, if they don't have power here in Asheville, no cell service here in Asheville, I might as well just turn around and go home.
And we didn't know at that point that Asheville got hit as hard as they did.
We had no idea.
But you did see that East Tennessee or East 26 going to Knoxville. You saw that, right?
No.
At that point? Oh, so you didn't know about that
I didn't know anything about anything because no internet, no cell service.
Well, I thought you had drove by there, so you saw it. Okay.
I just got to the first exit there in West Asheville and pulled off, saw that all the gas stations were without power, and figured, well, I guess I just need to turn around and head home. So Sherry says, no, we didn't, but a quarter mile from us, all the homes flooded. Very devastating.
Yeah.
Drove by and saw stuff on the curb.
So happy that you guys are okay.
Cheryl and Ed said, if anyone wants to help out, Samaritan's Purse is collecting donations for the last disaster relief. We just donated tonight. Well, there are certainly many, many people that are in need, for sure.
Yes, yes.
Destination Fund, my friends in North Carolina said all the grocery stores.
A lot of it's cash only.
Lines to get in and cash only.
Gas, grocery stores, merchants, retail stores.
All the gas stations were like limiting you to $30 if they had gas. Most of the grocery stores, it was cash only, and they were shutting down early. Running out of stuff. The only place where you could use a card originally was at Walmart.
Yeah.
And Walmart and Lowe's,
Lowe's was doing it by hand.
Yeah, Lowe's was handwriting out stuff, and then they charge your card later.
Yeah.
And Walmart was somehow must have had satellite internet or something because they were still up and were running cards for people, but they weren't taking cash. So
yeah, right there.
Let's see here. Scott says part of I-40 collapse between Asheville and Knoxville. That is correct. Most of the section north of the Clyde area, all the way to the Tennessee line, there were multiple areas that had collapsed. Latest estimates on that I saw were they're not predicting it to be repaired until September of 2025. So it's going to be out for quite a while, and that's a major artery through here to go west. So west. That would be west to Tennessee.
Yes. Sorry.
So anyway, I got back. That was Saturday morning. Got back to our business, our brewery, and was trying to figure out what we were going to do, whether we're going to be able to open.
Right.
We were going to have to, be cash only because at that point I'd already checked. We didn't have internet at the brewery, or it didn't look like we did. And then I noticed that folks were sitting in their car outside and had their cell phones up and were playing on it. I'm like, wait a minute, they must be connected to like the town Wi-Fi. So I tried connecting to it. Sure enough, it was up. We've got two internets at our business. One is a backup, very slow speed line, but it was something. So I decided to check that, and within 24 hours, that internet company had gotten their service back up. We finally had some, and able to get let people know that we were open.
Yeah.
We were able to open our business so that people could actually come in, have a place to sit down, maybe watch satellite TV, which we have, get the news, find out what's going on.
Boil water advisory or water boil advisory at that point.
Yep.
As well.
So we had boil water advisory, so we're trying to figure out, all right, well, what do we have to do to be able to serve food and do all the things that we need to do? And of course, comes out and tells us, well, you got to follow all these rules and things because you can't just do it like you normally do. And so we ended up
practicing caution, but they strongly advised us to close the kitchen.
Strongly advised us to close the kitchen, which we did on Saturday. And then we looked into it and I realized, well, geez, I've got a kettle that can boil like 120 gallons at a time. So
do it.
Sunday morning, that's what I did. I went in and I filled it up with the hottest water I could get and brought it to a boil and cooled it down to usable temperatures. And so we had boiled water.
And we were able to open our kitchen.
They could wash their hands and everything else and sanitize water.
And we were able to accept credit cards for customers that wanted to come in. We could accept
credit cards or cash, and people could get a hot meal.
Although there was no water, soda, ice, or anything like that. So we got some bottled water. And had that available for people that wanted a non-alcoholic option.
So that's basically what we've been dealing with. Except in the last 24 hours, things have finally changed. We were wondering if we were even going to be able to do a live stream this week, or if we'd have to do it from the brewery or whatever.
Yeah, we were gonna do it at the brewery on the very slow speed. But
good morning.
Good hello. Good hey.
Down under cruisers.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's
thank you very much.
I was feeling very fortunate today, and I was feeling guilty because I was feeling fortunate, because so many people are going through so many bad things and just, still without power, without water, and all of that, and without communication. And, we are still, when we leave the house. So like at the house, we got our internet this morning, and at the brewery, we have internet and cell service. We're able to use our phones and stuff. So, but if you leave the house to go anywhere else, there's nothing yet for us.
Bars again instead of SOS on my phone.
Fake bars.
But it's like they're fake bars or something, or it doesn't seem to be working. So we do pretty much everything through Wi-Fi calling and everything else. So that's about the only options we have at this point.
There's messages.
Yeah, let's see. Sherry says this caused floods in several states.
Yes,
it did.
Georgia, Tennessee.
It flooded all the coastal areas in Florida from Naples all the way up the state.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have much information about Florida because, we just have a little. The little that we have is from this area. And it's, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I'm seeing the pictures and I'm hearing all this stuff. Are you guys? And we know you're right there, and we're not answering, and we're not getting the messages. And so it was
Asheville. I heard yesterday that they've had just not even at the total devastation in some areas, but looking at the long-term recovery, I heard that they've got major water lines that have been just completely demolished, and that it could take them 6 months to get potable water available.
It's terrible
in Asheville. So it's just amazing that this has happened. I mean, it's 100-year flood. This is what they're talking about,
And, I was looking today at our waterways, and they're so low. And I can't imagine where they were a few days ago,
Right.
They were up above the road level, and it's just crazy that it could actually get that high so fast. That's what flash flooding is, but And it went down pretty quick also, where the kids were, because that water was up to the bridge across that street where they live. And literally it was hours later, because we were moving. So, hours have passed. I don't know how many, but in the same day. And that literally went down like, this month. So like you started seeing it just kind of lower from underneath, because there was a puddle also in like the property on the other side too. And then it just started subsiding. And I actually saw a pretty big tree. I guess it was a trunk, but it was like, like half a just going down that waterway. And I don't know how it got under the bridge, because that was when the water was high, but it's
and I've got some video from here locally that I'll put up here in a little bit. But part of what we wanted to talk about tonight was, having gone through this, what lessons can we pass on to other people, so that if you ever do, what can you do beforehand so you're prepared for those type of events? But even in like the week or the days leading up to it, what can you do so that you put yourself in a better position to be ready to deal with disasters like this? So,
couple things, and one I'll probably wait to talk about after, because of the way that you posed the question. But I will say, people that live in Florida that readily deal with hurricanes and stuff, and we lived in Florida as well. We do know some of the preparedness that you should have. Not everybody knows, but that's kind of what you were asking, was like, how do you prepare for it? So
and I mean, the government puts out stuff. FEMA, I guess, they put out a lot of information. Let's see. Sherry says, my friends didn't evacuate on the water. They had waist deep water come in.
Oh gosh.
When they say evacuate, you should evacuate.
Agree.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, agree.
We didn't have any evacuation notices in the mountains.
No, and people in the mountains, we don't experience stuff like this. So a lot of people that weren't from or lived in Florida for any amount of time. I use Florida because they get the most, around
hurricanes pretty much every year. They've got threats at least.
Right. And so I think a lot of people were caught off guard. And even though they say, prepare, this is coming, this is happening, I don't think that people thought that it would be as bad as it was.
Right.
Or as serious or significant, because they've never experienced anything like that. And so.
And, but you see it even here, you see it before a big snowstorm. People go nuts. They go to the store, they buy, the bread and the milk.
The bread and the milk. And not toilet paper, but bread and milk. They
wipe all that stuff out.
And,
and that's all they seem to think about, or maybe water or something like that.
Let's see. We're going to try and talk about this.
So Sherry says, now everyone has a bigger problem coming, already being short of supplies from the storm.
Oh,
now, the port strikes. Yeah. So that's the other thing, with the port strikes coming in, which who knows what that's going to,
we can have a whole other conversation on all of that, but
yeah.
But
I definitely wanted to talk about things that we learned. One thing, first and foremost, everybody should do this, make a plan. I've been seeing a lot of video or commercials here lately from like FEMA and, about how to prepare, how to set yourself up for surviving through an ordeal like this. So, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. This is just basic common sense, but you don't always think of it beforehand. So
I told some people that, were very inexperienced in this. I said, look, fill up your bathtub water.
Yeah.
In case you don't have water.
That's definitely an option.
Because then you've got clean water.
Yep. And if you've got
if you need it,
a day or two notice, fill your car up with gas.
Oh yeah.
Because something happens,
you're not going to get gas.
Getting gas is going to be very difficult. You know, it was today that things finally got better as far as gas goes around here. Most of the gas stations were in our immediate area. Yeah. Most of the gas stations were either out of gas or there was an hour-long line waiting to fill up for gas.
Yeah.
So fill up your car with gas. There's no reason you shouldn't do that. Let's see, what did Sherry say? We always buy water at the beginning of hurricane season.
That's another thing, yep.
Once they announce a storm, it's flying off the shelves. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So fill your cars up with gas. Get you water. A couple of a case 2, 3 of water.
Jugs of water, whatever.
Or jugs of water, anything, just so you have clean, fresh drinking water.
This is why we have so much water. Yeah. Because,
water bottles.
We had to,
We had to get it, and you're going to want it, and you're going to need it. So have that. Food is kind of secondary. You can go a while without food. You can't go a while without water. But non-perishable foods are
the three things.
Yeah, and non-perishable foods are of course important. But even in the aftermath, you should have a stash of cash in small bills, because we've definitely seen in this, the banks are shut down, the ATMs are empty, nobody's taking credit cards.
There's caps on withdrawals if the bank is open.
Yeah, if the bank is open, they've got caps on withdrawal. Oh, I can just get cash back at Walmart. No, they
can't.
They won't allow you to do that anymore. So guess what? Unless you have cash in hand, you're just out of luck. Because all these places that lost their internet too have nowhere to run your credit card.
Right.
So all things that you should keep in mind and make sure you have.
And the food, if the grocery stores lose their power or anything like that, you won't be able to get stuff either.
All the frozen stuff's going to go bad. All the refrigerated stuff's going to go bad in a day or so. So pretty much all you're going to have is stuff that's on the shelf, the non-perishable stuff, or the long-term storage stuff. So all these things are important. And, dealing with people in the past few days, you realize a lot of folks don't even think about that. It's like, oh, where can I get gas? My car's on empty. Well, we knew it was coming. They told us for a couple of days that we could have very significant rainfall.
Heck, I was in Georgia on Wednesday.
And it's last week on our live stream, she was in Georgia and they were getting rain then.
And the weather was starting and it was still okay. And then it kept getting closer and kept looking like it was getting worse and worse and worse. And so I, came home early. Good thing I did, because it got pretty much way worse right after.
So water, so that you buy those things that you're going to need. And, when no one is taking credit cards, cash will always work pretty much. Yes. The only place that I found that cash didn't work was Walmart. They stopped taking cash, only credit, which is kind of weird, but
it was kind of nice that you had a little relief that, if you didn't have cash, you could at least go and get stuff if you need it.
Yeah. So food, you should figure out some way to
charge all of your electronics.
Oh, yes.
Not that you can use your phone, but charge them anyway.
Yep. Charge your phone, Kindle, because you want something to do for all those hours.
Yeah, read. Flashlights, lighters, candles.
Absolutely.
You need secondary light.
I mean, I've got flashlights in pretty much every room.
He's not lying.
I'm not lying. No. And they're all USB rechargeable, so we're good as far as that goes. We always have light. If you've got And a grill outside, well, make sure that you have propane for the tank.
Yes.
Full tanks of propane.
Because if you don't have power, you can still use your grill and the propane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Little things, but big things, but could be big things.
Got to think of those things, you know. I mean, even if you're just without power and you're trapped in your neighborhood because roads washed out or there are trees and power lines down and you got nothing.
And at some point, if you do lose your power and it doesn't come back, you're going to have to cook your food or it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do something, right? Something.
Yeah. You know. Either that or, you know, a little camp stove.
Anything.
All those little things that you can use would be very, very important. Sherry says if that storm didn't move as fast as it was moving, it could have been a lot worse.
That's very true. It was very fast moving.
It was.
Like you blinked and it was past us and we're like, wow. And all of that damage that it caused and its weight. Yep. Like I remember Francis when it came through Florida. I think it was 95 or 96. The storm was so large, it covered the entire state of Florida and it just sat there and just pummeled rain. I remember that because we evacuated. And I remember just being in this house of a friend of my dad's, whatever. And I had my books. I took all my jewelry. I took my important things with me, all important papers. I mean, because we evacuated and like that was like one of the first hurricanes that I had ever been through. But I remember writing about it. I think it was 3 days before we can get back home. Yeah.
Wow.
It was bad.
Yeah. And then think about, well, what are you going to do while you're waiting for things to get back to normal? You know?
I did adult coloring.
Already colored for a
Read.
Couple of days.
Listen to books.
Yeah. So, not that that's the most important thing in the world, but you know, sometimes you have downtime and you need to escape from what it is that you're going through. So
and you know, Corey, he can't sit still. You know, if he's in front of his computer, he could sit still. But without computer, internet, and anything like that, he's like, all right, I'm going to go and see what's going on over here. Or we found out that the brewery had internet. I'm going to go check out things at the brewery. And you'd be gone for hours. I was like, hey, see you later.
Yeah. Got some stuff to do.
But, you know, you were also gathering data and pictures and information.
Right.
And stuff, so.
I did go out on Friday and shot some video. And let's see if maybe I can put some of that up.
I would like to. One thing, are we done with the preparedness and stuff, or is there anything that anybody else want to add? Anything that we may have forgotten or missed? Did you?
I mean,
because I want to
there's
talk
always
about something
things
specific.
you can mention.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Communication.
Communication. Yeah.
So this is kind of a first that we've really experienced ourselves. And it was definitely eye-opening. Here, let's see what Karen has to say here. Hello, Karen.
Welcome, Karen. And we lost power for 2 weeks 1 year for an ice storm.
Mm-hmm.
We now have a gas generator, a battery backup.
Yep.
Had to think outside the box to do things differently to survive.
Yep. Very true. Oh, I just got the chills.
That is definitely very true. We've got a little generator that could run maybe couple of things, but it's not going to run much.
No.
But I mean, we've got other stuff that we can use. You know, we've a camp stove, we've got propane, we even have a propane lantern if we needed it. But luckily, we've got plenty of USB powered, USB chargeable flashlights that and and other things that'll keep us in light.
And if cold, we have a gas fireplace that we can at least get a little bit of heat as well. But I don't know if the gas company ever came out to deliver the propane because they were supposed to come out before the storm, but I think we're not sure if we have enough gas, but so communication. So this is something that, well, this whole thing is now a historic event. Yeah. And it was really eye-opening about how we were cut off and didn't know what was going on. Like if we wanted to talk to the kids, we had to go down to, go to their house and be like, hey, how's everybody? What you doing? This, that, and the other, because we didn't know. We were cut off from everything. We didn't know how bad things were. We were just kind of doing our thing. And
needing gas. Well, I burned so much gas just driving around to talk to someone or find something or whatever, just because that was the only thing you could do.
Yeah. And our manager, who was, handling things at the brewery, he was driving to the house,
He was driving here to ask us just a simple question that you would pick up the phone and
in case we need anything. So that was very eye-opening. At first I was like, oh, this is not as my phone's not going off 24/7. I'm not on call 24/7. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, then it's kind of, it just gets kind of eerie. Like you just don't know. And so you do, I don't know. What kind of feeling did you have for that? Like, now that the business is open, if I'm not there, I don't know what's going on or anything else down or who's doing what.
I mean, you're just so disconnected. We're used to having these phones in our hands and just having instant access to anything that you want, and then to be just completely cut off from that.
And then to hear everybody say, oh, I've seen the pictures and all this stuff. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about because I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. Nothing. I don't know what's going on. So that was eye-opening to, like, how do we navigate through that to be prepared next time? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Well, we,
other than
we do have some radios that we could have used
that we did not charge.
We did not charge those radios.
But again, that's something to that's something that maybe put on the list if you do have some walkie-talkies or radios or something.
Yeah. Cheryl and Ann said it almost sounds like getting satellite phones for these situations. Yeah. Satellite phones or, like the Starlink Mini. So you've got internet or anything like that would give you some type of communication. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have employees that just got their power back today, or an employee. There's still no water at their place.
Yeah, we did just get notified this evening that our boil water advisory is done.
That was around 5:00 today. So the water boil advisory has been lifted.
Yeah. And
yep, that's true. Watch out, Starlink.
After this, everyone will be running for Starlink.
I will tell you, they were up as fast as there was one other one in our town that was up really fast too, and they're gonna be getting whole kinds of new customers.
Yeah.
So
probably so. But yeah, that may have been what Walmart was running on. I don't know. Not entirely sure, but Walmart had internet and no one else did. So, and then they had a Verizon hotspot there at Walmart. But
really,
yeah,
we still don't have our phones up.
Yeah, we still don't have phones. Anyway. Who knows how long that'll take to get? But at least we have.
We can communicate now.
We can communicate now. Yeah.
So that's
which that was missing. So. All right. So I'm
going to try to do the.
Yeah, I'm going to try to share some of the video that I've got that I shot on Friday.
I haven't even seen this, you guys, so I'll be seeing it for the first time with you. Did you put it over there?
Yep, I did. Videos from Helene. Let's start with this one.
So where is that?
This is the railroad track there in front of the fire department.
Oh, that was here.
Yeah, that was here. So this is a roadway. Well, you can't see.
Oh, that's our. Here. We drive that road every day.
Yeah, we drive that road every day, and so the entire road was flooded. There in kind of the upper left hand, you can see the railroad tracks. Well, we had actually a river basically flowing down these railroad tracks.
And the river is like behind that Jeep, behind that building. That's where the river is.
Yeah, that's where the river is. On the other side, in the upper left of that video there, behind that building with the white awning is where the river is, or a creek, really. It's Scott's Creek.
Yeah. So you're going to go at the bottom then instead of the top, since that was the last one of your last ones?
Yeah, let's see. That was actually in my last video. So I'll show you another video from this creek here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
that's where I saw the tree come through, and then there's that big puddle in the front yard.
Yeah, so this is probably a good 10 feet higher than it normally is. This is right across from my daughter's new house.
Yeah. That's where I saw that tree go down there.
So let's see what else we've got here. Yeah, there's the other side of that bridge. And that's actually my daughter's house right there in the upper right-hand corner, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my work truck. So you can see how concerned we were about how close that was to coming over and flooding their house there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think you just showed that one.
Oh, really?
No.
All right. And this was that same creek a little bit down the road. It was starting to flood a little bit in this little trailer park here. But let me go ahead and
Oh, really? Oh.
Remove that.
Did it work? There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop these out of here. See if I can find.
Did you get any video in Asheville?
No, I didn't go into Asheville, so.
This was just our area.
This was just our area.
Did you just show that?
What
Yeah, you just showed that.
I did. All right.
All right, so that was 53.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's only numbers.
Lots of little videos here. So there's another view you can see. This is like the roadway into this little trailer park, and it was completely flooded.
That was 54.
This is out by the Greenway. So this is actually an inlet here where you can launch a boat or kayaks or whatever. And the river had come up to the point where it was flooding the parking lot. Different river here, but anyway. Let's see. So this is a roadway that we saw in the first video before it flooded.
It was flooding there, but
yeah, it was flooding there. And this is the.
Because in the background, if you guys see on the right-hand side, is that blue building with the white awning.
Yeah, so they were still letting cars through here at this point.
They did close it down.
Yeah, and you can see the river basically flowing along the railroad tracks. But this area, luckily, there's not much. Actually did was underwater towards the end.
That was 56, yeah.
Yeah, it's not showing much there. Guess I should have gone through all these beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was the founding of the building here that was flooded, but
moving so fast.
yeah.
Oh, that's a backyard there.
Yeah, that's the backyard there in the upper left-hand corner. I think might have some closer video of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that was the only property or house that I know of that.
You can't even see where the actual creek is.
Yeah.
Behind that fence, right? I don't know if you guys can see his pointer, but
yeah, they can't see that.
They can't see that.
No.
So that fence that's between the two trees, that's close to where the river ends, so like where it's contained.
Yeah, you can kind of see the tree line here on one side and then on the other. 61. This is the town right next to us, town of Dillsboro, and
the creek is beyond those green or those blue things right there.
Yeah, that blue wall, the kind of upper left. The creek is behind that, but it's flooded its banks here as well.
And then 62 would be the next one. No, there's nothing there.
Yep.
Ohio Travels with Chris is on.
Oh, this was down by the Tuckasegee River. Hey, Ohio Travels with Chris. Welcome in.
Just looking at some video files that we didn't look at before.
Live review of
of
some video
you just
files.
did that one. There's only like a couple left, y'all. So if you're getting bored, comment. That's not really strong.
Yeah, well, that's a parking lot down there. That's the put in there by the
that
bridge.
Is a parking lot down there.
Yeah, and it's completely underwater.
All right, so you're on 65. So you got to remove some.
All right, I guess I'm gonna have to pull these off. What a pain.
Yeah. Yeah, so while he's doing that, I just want to say that the town that we live in is kind of nestled in a valley, and we are very fortunate that we do not get a lot of extreme weather. 65 here. Yeah, see there it's starting to. Yeah. You got it blocked off because it's flooded.
Yeah, that's after the flooding. They're in town.
Yeah. And there's that last one.
There's that last one. Sorry, shot. All right, so that's pretty much most of what I shot, but
and that's just around, like literally in our immediate area,
within a few minutes drive from our house. So, yeah, like Lori was saying, we live in a little mountain valley that is fairly well protected on all sides by mountains. So
yes.
We don't generally get very severe weather. I mean, you look the areas east of us that got
Waynesville,
the worst
Asheville,
flooding, Waynesville, Canton, Asheville,
all of those areas.
All those areas. Whenever we have a snowstorm, they get hit a lot harder than we do. You know, we'll get an inch or two, they'll get 6, 8.
Yes, especially on top of the mountains.
Yeah. So just the way it goes, we're kind of protected and nestled in this little mountain valley. But yeah, it's definitely makes you feel blessed to have escaped a lot of that devastation that has hit the rest of the state, or the rest of this area. But anyway.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that this was, you know, a little bit of a downer, but there is some good stuff too, you know, like there are people that we know that are safe and that are good. As far as I know, and I know, again, I'm still kind of removed. There is a small death toll of people in Asheville. I think the last I heard it was like 50 something, but
I'm not sure about Asheville specifically, but I have heard in North Carolina there were over 100 people confirmed dead, with another 600 or so missing. But
yeah, and the concern that I had was, you know, you survive where you're at, and your road is washed out.
Yeah,
and you can't get out.
And you've got no communication.
And the power lines are down. There's no communication. So now you're sitting there. Nobody knows you're there. And
right.
You know, and that's just heartbreaking.
And in these mountains up here, I mean, you could drive right by, you know, a road that goes up a mountain and not even know it's there. And, you know, you could have 20 people that live up that road. There's a lot of secluded areas that, unless you know the area really well, you wouldn't even think about it. But
no. And so I'm going to put out there that we wish that, you know, whoever can get help and get to safety and, you know, get through this, that they get whatever they need to be able to get through.
For sure. For sure. But anyway, I don't want to drag this out too long.
No.
And we're pretty much done anyway. So
yes.
We want to let you guys know that we're still here, and
like it or not, we are
surviving.
Here. Yep. You're gonna get more of us, I promise.
You're gonna get more of us for sure. Maybe not this Saturday. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a video done for Saturday.
Because he was working on it, but he can only do so much because there was no internet, so he hasn't been able to finish it. So
we just got. Yes, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
And Cheryl and Ed.
And let's not forget Sherry and the people in Florida too. You know, glad that you guys are safe.
Sherry and Scott
and everybody there.
Yes. And I hope you guys are doing better as well, or things are coming along at least there.
Yes, we are too.
And all of you guys.
Here, put that last one up before you.
We're looking forward to seeing you in Helene in March.
Yes, in March.
Seeing you guys again. So anyway. So I've got a video that I was editing. You know, we had power, but I've got none of my resources. I can edit it, but I can't add music and do all the other stuff that I need to do. Sure couldn't upload it, so I was just kind of left it. But this may be we certainly hope you're there, Chris. Looking forward to it. Maybe the first Saturday since we started this channel that we're not going to have a new video. Oh no, Cheryl and Ed can't go to Helene.
Well, I mean, if you got to go on a cruise.
Yeah, well, if you got to go on a cruise, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only excuse acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, or travel of some sort. We're all travel fans. Yeah,
we sure are.
Yeah.
But
thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Thanks, guys, for coming out. I really appreciate you you tuning into this. We've had quite a few people show up tonight that we don't always see on here. So
yeah, we appreciate everything.
Yes, and hopefully, some of the limited information that we gave you is useful, and maybe you'll think about that the next time that disaster threatens or a storm threatens or something like that. Maybe I'll go out and I'll fill up my car with gas. Make sure I've got
get some
water and some basic staples and toilet paper, and charge all my phones and my Kindles and iPads and tablets or whatever else you've got.
Batteries if they don't have chargeable
flashlights and make sure you get fresh flashlights if not. So
flashlights.
Fresh batteries for your flashlights.
Here's a side note. I will say that our animals were extremely happy that during this whole process because we were around a lot.
Around a lot more, yeah.
Yeah, they liked it.
So all right, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out again. We appreciate it.
Call it at that. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for coming out again. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully with better news and better stuff going on here.
Yes.
But from peaks to tides.
We'll see you on the next ride.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I was right. Forgot to say that we couldn't play pickleball for a couple